welcome in. Thank you so much for doing this.
What's up? Yeah, no problem. Happy to be here.
And
How we
first off,
doing?
happy birthday, by the way.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you
you.
again.
Absolutely. Hey, happy to be here. It's a chill day. Just had some breakfast. Made our way back. Pretty heavy traffic, but we here. We here. Is
um,
it? Do we want to? Are we doing cameras on,
yeah,
off?
again,
What's the vibe?
I can.
Okay,
I'll turn it
here.
on. Hello.
I'll throw it on. What's
Yeah.
up? What is up?
We do have
Boop.
our
I'll move
event
this
chat
over
as well.
here.
If you're interested in having that open as well, and then I will just
Yeah.
ask you some questions. A lot of
Yeah,
these are
absolutely.
community submitted or through our staff as well.
Rock and roll.
Okay. So, first off, your father is a very well-known voice actor, like the voice actor, at least for
What?
my generation.
Yeah,
Did
he's done
he
a couple indie projects.
just a little small thing? Yeah, yeah, of course.
There's some little things here and there.
Did he have any influence getting you and your brother into voice acting?
Yeah, I think I'd say he was an influence getting us into like acting as a whole. Because when he was filming for the sitcom Rules of Engagement, we'd be able to come to the audience and be the like live laughter that they get for the scenes. And I remember just watching it all, seeing all the sets, and then them doing all their takes, and I thought that was such a fun, cool time. And I think that was a pretty big inspo, being able to just witness it all. Um, and I think Talon can attest to the same thing. Talon started doing it all before I did. And I think it was really during the COVID period of time where voiceover kind of just got locked in a little more for the both of us. On camera was just, I think, a really rough industry at the moment, but voiceover, just by the nature of it all and how you can do it all remote, kind of kept booming. And I think that's where we saw a lot of our growth. And I'm happy because, like, I love voiceover. The community, the projects we get to work on, it's all projects I love and that are near and dear to me. So, very grateful for how all that transpired.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. And like I know, like when during COVID when it happened, like it was pretty rough for I have a couple film friends in the film industry as well, so it was bad. Question
Oh,
is because
it was a scene for sure.
oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
There was one of our administrators, and I know a couple of my friends who are also Star Rail players are also League players. And I know you yourself are a filthy top lane main.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
I love the top lane. It's great.
I to each their own because it's not for me.
Oh, okay. Well, then hold on. Well, then what's your lane? What's your lane?
I do mid and 80 carry, mostly 80
Okay.
carry.
You know what? Listen, I gotta give respect. Listen, mid lane, both important roles, and AD carry's the hardest lane to solo carry. It's the hardest position to solo carry in ranked.
Yeah,
Just the truth,
yeah,
It's just the truth.
It's not fun.
It's like you have the most effect on the game, but you really need people to keep you alive. So
Yeah,
it's a toughie.
hold my hand as I go through lane, please. There was a lot of similarities, and I said this before you got released or like announced as a voice actor for Mydei. I was like, he sounds a lot like Set. Do you get that? Do you like hear it sometimes?
Oh yeah. Well, Set was like part of the inspo. So here we go. Okay, so here's the series of events, right? I'll start from the very beginning. Before I even got Mydei, just playing League of Legends, I'd play Set a bunch, and I would joke with friends. And this is before I even knew Xander. I would joke with friends, and I'd be like, "Should have been me." I'm like, I could have done that. Should have been me, really. And then I met Xander, and I feel like I think I had to have said that to them at some point. I'm like, oh, it should have been me. And Xander obviously, took that in good fun, and that was, yeah. But when I got the Mydei audition and kind of reading for the character sides, there was, I mean, obviously, like in character description, it wasn't like I didn't read it and go, "Oh, that's Set." But I read it and I was like, okay, I see the kind of character points here of like, there's, you know, pride, there's a bit of a loner kind of thing. I think they've been very hurt, but there's a bit of a royalty, and seeing just all these little different chunks. And when I was just kind of testing out, I'm like, okay, I see that character work, but like vocally, you know, where do I want to start it off as? I'm like, I think I could see this character, and like when I was seeing the character model in my head, I'm like, let's just start off with Set as the base bone. And, you know, Set's very like, you know, brawler, like, I feel bad for the knives. If I get in a knife fight with my fist, you know, it's just very like confident, ego-y. And I'm like, okay, let's get rid of the ego. They've been hurt a lot more. There's still a confidence there and a battle ready. So it's like, all right, rather than like, here I am ready to fight, I brought it a bit lower into the chest resonance, have it be a bit more internalized. And you know, gets really excited for the battle, but otherwise, there's a lot that's happening in here. And it was a jumping off point. And even before I was able to announce it, because there was like a month before I could even announce that I was Mydei and people were hearing the voice and everything, people were guessing. They're like, is that Xander Mobus? It sounds like Set. And I'm like, I
don't know.
And I'm like, maybe.
But I can't say anything. I know that you've probably been asked this question a lot, but I'm still going to ask because, you know, the bath scene, obviously. I know they told Joshua that it was supposed to be like a sweat off. Is that what they like the whole, you know?
Okay. Josh and I had very different experiences recording this. So normally when you see sides that you're recording for, you get the whole context of what's happening. There's like usually a description, and your director will tell you this is what's happening, right? And you'll see the in-between lines, and the in-between lines are important, so you know, like, kind of like, all right, what's the progression here? What I saw were just my own lines to begin with, no in-between lines. And so I asked the director, and I think they I don't know, maybe I said it funny, but I was like, are these lines just like all independent of each other, like their own things? And they're like, well, yeah. And I think they just meant like, I think they thought I was asking like, is this one long paragraph or are these their own individual lines? I think that's what they thought I was asking. So I was just like, okay, sure, you know. And I started doing the lines, and I was like, I really feel like these are all connected into one like narrative, because like I would make kind of like a noise where it's like because I heard it was like a competition, so I'd go, ugh. And then like they're like, make it more, and then it's like, make it more of like you're enduring it, you know, just like and I'm like, okay. You know, and then they're like, yeah, that's kind of the vibe. And then I'm like, hey man, I don't see the in-between lines. Like, you don't see the in-between lines? I'm like, no. They're like, why didn't you say anything? I'm like, I thought they were all independent. You know, like, I thought these were. And then like I looked at then like I got all the in-between lines, saw the whole thing, and I'm like, oh. Got it.
I can imagine.
I wasn't quite sure what was happening in the beginning. I'm like, I see. And I'm like, well, this is gonna get memed on.
Pretty heavily, yes.
Oh yeah. Boy, was I right.
Yeah. If you had any opportunity to audition for any other character, and who would it be?
In HSR?
In any of the Hoyo games, if you would like to be in any of them, that kind of brings us to a different question as well.
I've auditioned for characters in a few of them. Not ZZZ, but Genshin for sure. I've auditioned for a number of characters, and I've auditioned for in HSR. I remember reading the Boot Hill sides. I think I auditioned for is it Moe's? I haven't really got to that. I didn't do that part of the story since I went straight to Amphorius, but I think I auditioned for Moe's as well. There's a number of them I did. And there's some too that I know I auditioned for, but it's just kind of like a matter of, I'm like, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say those yet. So I'm like, you know, just skipping over them.
NDAs here.
Exactly. We're playing it safe as can be. But I did, at the very least, audition for Boot Hill. And that was, I remember thinking, I was like, I can just tell you right now what I auditioned for, how I auditioned for it. Very different than the character.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, initially, I kind of went full on, like, you know, it was almost like very much like, what's the new name in Overwatch? Is it Cassidy? Or it's not?
Yeah, Cassidy.
Yeah, very much in that vein. And then I remember, and then finally seeing Boot Hill in game, I'm like, wow, boy, did I do. Well, I missed the mark with that one.
Real Southern gentleman over here.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I didn't expect Boot Hill to look like that at all, and I was like, oh, okay, I see what the vibe is. Understood. But you know, that happens. It happens. They did an absolutely killer job. That was spectacular. Really fun seeing Boot Hill. But yeah, that's one I would have auditioned for. I think Moe's. There's probably a few other in there.
A couple of random NPCs, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of my favorite roles I got to do for it was an NPC. And it's somewhere in Amphorius. I'm pretty sure it's like, I don't know if we're in 3 point something or 4 point something, but it's like 0.2, where I voice this random thespian who's just so over the top and dramatic, and and like the director Phil, he's like, yeah, it's gonna be too much in your vein. It's like, it's too you. And I just did it. He's like, yeah, I knew it'd be too easy for you.
I think we're in 3.
What are you talking about?
6, I think.
3.6.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think 3.6. I think you're still in 3.0 in story. Like, you just got there.
Yeah. I just got there. And unfortunately I wasn't able to play anymore last week. Just, it was a busy week, but I'm getting back to streaming this week. And but I need a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah. That also brings one other question that I've had, is that, like, recording this beforehand, does it feel like it kind of spoils the story for you, or is it seeing it in the finished product kind of nice?
So it's like little column A, little column B. So, like, I'd say in general, like, there's one part of it where it's like, spoilers never affected me too much. I've always been good about not spoiling stuff, I'd like to think. But I had a best friend, still one of my best friends growing up, best friend since like the 3rd grade, who spoiled everything. And I kind of just had to get used to it. I'm like, there's not, if they consume something first and then I do, they're going to spoil it all for me, and I can't help it. No matter how much we were like, stop, don't say anything. They just had to. So, like, from a young age, I'm just kind of like, if something's spoiled for me, I can still enjoy it. But for this, in this specific case, in this specific game, it's like, some parts are like kind of spoiled where I'm like, I remember that vaguely, but there's also stuff that I have like no clue of what's happening. So it's like, thankfully, like, I did the sessions and I recorded the lines, and obviously I was very much in the moment, knew what was happening in the sessions. But as time went on, I'm like, what happened again? I'm like, so I'm kind of like, what? Like, I don't know how this led to that and that led to that. I saw the trailer. I'm blanking on their names, hardcore. But there's that like light blue-haired gal fighting Lygus, and she was leading. I think. And they were really leading like an army.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, and they were leading an army of Kremnoans, and I was watching that. I'm like, wait, those are my dudes. What are you doing? Wait, what's happening here? Who the fuck are you? I'm like, where am I?
You're like, wait a damn minute.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a fucking second.
And then, how similar do you think you are to Mydei himself?
I don't know if y'all have gotten this vibe yet. I know anytime you've seen me, whether it's in an interview or on stream, I know I can seem just so mysterious and, man, a few words, stoic. I know I scream stoicism. Different. I'm very different than Mighty. I'm way more like Finan than Mighty. Mighty's just like, I think, been hurt a lot. And I think just by nature of circumstance, they're a little lone wolf. They're very internalized. There's a lot happening in there. And I think the pain they've had to experience has really affected their relationship with the people that are currently around them or not around them, and thankfully I have not had to deal with such circumstances that Mighty's had. Losing like your entire people and like having to fight your own dad, who's sort of like a god and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of a lot, that hurts. Thankfully, yeah. I've had no boss fights with my dad. And I'd like to think I keep it. There's not a lot that's inside that's like not really. I'd like to think I am an open book. I would like to think. And I try my best to keep things lighthearted, goofy, and fun. Because I have a goofy, fun time, all things considered. And goofy's definitely not a word I would use for Mighty.
No. It's a little serious.
It's just a little serious. But I do love him. Mighty's a really fun character. And you know what it is? You know what it is, though? It's like I like making friends and I like meeting new people. And the thing is like I have very goofy friends. Joshua Waters is a very goofy person. Blythe Mellon is a very goofy person. But I also have sometimes friends that are just like a little more quieter or low key and like maybe not as social and outgoing, have a little more internalized. I'm like, I fucking love that guy. So like I see Mighty, I'm like, I would absolutely like Mighty's someone I would be friends with. Are they someone that I'm quite like? Not really. But I would be friends with them.
Yeah. Hang out with them for drinks.
I'd get a drink with them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. Do you think there is any like similarities between like how Mighty is with his mom, which is how you are with your parents, or like what does that look like?
1000%. I mean, at the end of the day, like I could say that I'm not like Mighty in a ton of ways, but performance-wise, you have to draw on things that come from your real life, right? I think, like, I'd say about myself, like, I'm a mama's boy. I love my mom. My mom's great. She's a hard worker. She's goofy. I think I get a lot of my personality from her. And when it came to, I think, some of those more emotional beats with Mighty and their mother, there was stuff I could draw on, I know for me, like, if I, just like thinking if my mom's crying, if there's something upsetting my mom and I could see like she's truly upset or heartbroken, like it like makes it, I feel it. It like it happens. It's like a more of a surface and immediate feeling for me where I'm like, well, fuck, that destroys me. That makes me really sad, And I think for those moments there was an easier well. There's like there was a well for me to draw from, And then, like, with Mighty and, like, Nikador and Mighty's dad pushing him in a river and everything. Thankfully to say, my dad's never pushed me into a river.
River of death.
Yeah. A river of death. My dad's never pushed me into a river of death. So that's cool.
Oh, thank God.
But, even in that case, right, where it's like, I can, but here's moments where I've had arguments or disagreements with my parents because everyone does, and I can draw from those. I think there's like one of my acting coaches loves to say this. It's like if you can kill a fly, you can perform something. You can perform Shakespeare. So yeah, there's like definitely stuff I was able to draw from like relationship with my parents for the performance.
And then obviously on a more serious note, do you think Mighty washes his rice?
Yes, Mighty washes his rice. I do too, by the way. I've grown. I'm better. I've been on a cooking spree, and I've been washing the rice. Josh and I have a cooking contest at some point this month. We're each making a stir fry and competing. Am I a little intimidated because I've heard what they've made and I've seen pictures? Yeah, definitely a little intimidated, but I think I have a chance. I have a chance of beating them. I wash my rice. I don't even, and I don't just wash my rice. I do fun things with it. I throw in a little salt. You're supposed to, I guess. Throw a little salt. Throw in some green onions. Sometimes a little ginger action. A little bit of butter. Stir it up halfway through. It is yum. Garlic. It's yum. It's good stuff.
And obviously, you've met some of the other Chrysos heirs in 3.0. What has been your impression of them?
A lot of good. Only good from the Chrysos heirs. Only good. Listen. Joshua Waters is, I think of the bunch, definitely like my bestie of the bunch. And the fun fact, I'm sure a good amount of you already know their birthday today as well. I'm 1 year older than them. But I fucking love Josh. Josh is terrific. Banter with them came easy. I felt like, in a sort of way, I was like, oh, vibe-wise, personality-wise, I'm like, I get you, and I know we can chill and vibe and have a good time, play games and stuff, and they're one of the most fun people to fuck with and, politely bully. And each win they have is a win for me, too, where I'm like, that's fucking awesome. And they're absolutely killing it, and a lot's happened for them, and I'm proud as hell of them. They're awesome as hell. Like, yeah. I cannot speak highly enough of Josh. And Hayden. I love Hayden. Hayden's awesome. Hayden and Alejandro, they're cool. They're cool as hell. Alejandro's not one of the Chrysos heirs, but they're married, so I feel like I just kind of lumped them together. But Hayden is so cool and sweet and funny and just such a bubbly, warm personality to be around. They're making me a set of dice right now for Mydei themed, Mydei themed dice. So that's going to be cool. But Hayden is an absolute joy to be around, and Aiden as well. I love Aiden. Was a real pleasure to hang out with. Aiden and a group of friends of ours. We went on a hike while they were in town. That was fun. I don't think we did karaoke. We wanted to do karaoke. That never ended up happening. But also just very sweet, very kind to be around. Steve and Fu, I had not met them until a couple weeks ago when we went to San Fran for a signing. Actually, well, I met them before that. I met them at Anime Impulse. And we talked briefly, but that was like the first time we were like really chatting and hanging out. And very sweet, very cool. They like a lot of stuff I like, so that's cool. We both like Cyberpunk, so we were vibing about that. We were telling Josh to play Cyberpunk and how the show Cyberpunk Edgerunners changed our lives.
Literally.
God, so good. I like legitimately, like I say unironically, I'm like, I feel like that show changed my brain chemistry. Like it hit hard. That's a good show. So good.
Really is.
Right. But Steven's really cool. It's really fun chatting with them. So like I've only got great things to say about the Chrysos heirs. There's a few I haven't met. More than a few, I suppose. But of the ones I met, so Josh, Steven, Hayden, Aiden, they all have the Gabe seal of approval. I love all of them. They're terrific.
Yeah, I definitely. I think it's funny as well that Steven is also in League. And I remember I was like, wait a minute. When he got released, when Hui got released, I was like, that sounds like Wise. And now it's like I hear a Naxa and a Wise, and I'm like, I can't get away from him at all. I
didn't know they were in League until I saw their like banner with all their characters, and it was a combination of things. I saw their League character, and I was like, oh, I hear it now. That makes sense. And then I saw Doma from Demon Slayer. I'm like, yeah, that also makes sense. That's crazy.
Yeah.
in a sort of way, I feel very kind of fortunate in the fact that I'm really bad with what all my friends have done character-wise. And because here's the thing, I'm super stoked for every single one of them. I'm like, that's really cool. You did this and this and this and this. Some people I think that's like way more on the forefront of their mind, where it's like, oh, I'm meeting this person and they've done this character. And I'm like, that's kind of a weird angle. I'm just like, I'd rather just kind of vibe, and then if I find out they did something cool, that's rad, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I can thankfully say most of the folks I've met, I didn't like learn about their like cool characters until after like we've already hung out and vibed. Xander's the only one where it's like when I first met Xander, I'm like, oh, well, that's that. That was like the only one. Yeah, Steven's got quite the resume, and they've done some really cool shit.
Yeah. And then going off the back of that, when you're talking about Joshua, did you guys both have like a certain dynamic you guys were going with Mydei and Fine on, or was it kind of just like, you know, like the interactions between the two?
Do you mean the characters or like?
Yeah, the characters themselves.
So, you know, Josh and I never had like sessions together, like recording. Honestly, the dynamic between the two of them, I have to give all the, you know, as much credit as I can, all the credit to like Philip Bach, who directed us through a lot of those sessions. He's truly a genius, and I couldn't have, you know, done what I've done without him. He's wicked smart. Or if, you know, if I'm in Goodwill Hunting, I would go, my boy's wicked smart. He, you know, in the way that he described it to me during our sessions, it's like Finan and Mydei, it's like that kind of, it's almost a little buddy cop in the sense of just like that guy, like I hate this guy more than anything, but by God, do I love him. You know, it's like that, like, you know, epic bam handshake. You know what I mean? It was, you know, I think that comparison in the very beginning was like a good jumping off point where it's like, okay, I definitely care about this person, but I'm also going to give them a hard time, and they're going to give me a hard time. You know what I mean? And that translated fast and that was an easy translation for me, because it's like, that's what I would say one of my just Gabriel love languages is, where it's like the people I'm closest with, I'm fucking with a lot, and you know, and I feel like that's just kind of how I express that. I'm like, oh, because I care about this person, I'm gonna, you know, give them a hard time, and they'll give me a hard time. And obviously, you know, like you know, you read the room, and if that's not the vibe, it's not the vibe. But I'd say in general, that's like one of the ways I know I communicate that I care about someone. So it kind of works out that Finan and Mydei love giving each other like a little banter back and forth. Because then that banter back and forth is shared by sweet moments, you know? People like, you know, like that one line, it's a date. You know, like what's Finan say? It's a date, Mydei Mains. It's just like, oh, see, you know, it's a little give and take.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and definitely I feel like the dynamic is like rage baiter versus rage baited.
Yes. True. Very true. Because like, well, I suppose, yeah, wait, fine. Now, listen, I haven't gone that far into the game, but it would be Finan who's the rage baiter, right?
Yeah.
And Mydei gets rage baited. Funny enough, I want to say I rage bait Josh more than Josh rage baits me. I want to say sometimes, like, I think they've had a couple successful ones, but I'd say more than not, I think I succeed in the rage baiting.
I can think of one off the top of my head of like a Twitch clip or whatever, when you're like, I'm going to do a Fine on impression. And then it's like the most Jersey thing known to man. That was pretty good.
That one. Hey, I'm fucking fighting. I'm the deliverer. Hey, it was my best friend, Mydei Mains. Yeah. Oh, they loved that. They love that one.
That one was pretty good.
Their favorite.
I'm sure.
I also like doing my genuine / not genuine Finan impression, because I think it hits something in their brain. It flips a switch, because I do my like, oh, Mydei Mains, and then Josh goes like, that's not what I sound like. Oh, it's good. It's good. It is goody.
If you didn't voice Mighty, which character would you have liked to voice instead? Like out of any, not anyone you've like, you know, who you've met throughout the game, just like any random pick of them.
Any random pick of them. It's a toughie. Call it a cop-out answer, but I just think all my friends have done such a lovely, incredible job. I can't hear those roles in any other way, So it's a tough one to say, oh, I'd like to voice them. I'm comfortable saying this too, especially since it's not really a character I could do. But I think Castrus's character is so cool. I think Castrus is cool as fuck. I watched that trailer. That made me sad. I just think they're absolutely so interesting. I love their combat. Having a dragon and a scythe are like having two of the coolest things you can have in a fantasy universe. And kind of being the god of death is also pretty gnarly. It's pretty gnar. So it's like I think Castrus has got to be probably like one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's a great character. I definitely think Melody did a really good job bringing life into that, and
Oh yeah, 1000%.
If you sorry, what was the hardest line or / scene you had to record for Mighty?
The hardest? I could have just started it, just been like, none of it was actually all super easy. No, no, I think too, I wouldn't necessarily even say they were hard, but there's a couple moments that come to mind. I'll describe these moments, but I don't know if hard's the word I would use. So like, for instance, okay, there's a scene after, Mighty helps out Finan and Axa, the Trailblazer, and fights the Reaver, and Mighty throws that giant spear like, the lance of fury, the agony this world needs, and throws it. I had a fun time doing that one, but in the sessions, I was like, oh, I want, like, it took a couple tries because the first few sessions, I was going hard into it. I was like really like, yeah, like giving it my all, right? And then, the director, and they're right, but they're like, we don't need to even go that hard. We could go a little bit less. With that. I'm like, but please, it's really cool. Let me throw it with everything I got. Pretty please. And they're like, nah, well, I like my way. I'm like, okay. But like, that was one of those ones that took a few takes because I'm like, oh, this is so sick. I can just give it like my everything. Like, and then like, they're like, yeah, we could go a little bit less than that. I'm like, gosh,
did they show you the cutscene while you were recording it, or was it kind of just like, hey, there's a script, good luck?
I'm trying to remember if that one, whenever they do show a cutscene, it's usually like the not finished art, but you do see like kind of character models kind of stuff. I think it was the mostly finished art of it. So like me going like this was like, you see Mighty go like, whoa, and then like, I think the spear may have not been totally complete. And then when they threw it, I don't think the tower that the Reaver was thrown into was like totally complete at the moment. So like there's still some particle effect stuff that was like still needed to be worked on, but it was like a mostly done scene, if I remember correctly. But that was one of them. The second one I was thinking about is that it like wasn't even necessarily hard. It just took more tries. Whereas like in combat, there's the fast mode, which is the normal mode to most folks, including myself, where it's just like, say your line really fast, like forever doom, bam, next person does their combat. And then there's the regular mode, which is, the slow-mo mode, where the lines have a little more time to breathe. From my understanding, what the director told me was that everyone has a pretty easy time with the regular mode because they have the time, they have more time to say their lines and kind of give it the air they're comfortable giving it. And then for some of the fast lines, there was a bit more of a struggle of trying to get this done in time, you know, like getting it like boom, quickly saying the thing. In the regular mode, I had a number of retakes where it's like, really trying to get the sound of this just wasn't quite hitting right. In the fast mode, I was breezing through one take, and like even in Phil the director was like, that's kind of shocking. It's usually the other way around. I'm like,
I'm just that guy. I don't know what to tell you, man.
I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? So I think those are the two moments that come to mind. You know.
And then we have a couple of people that are here that would love to get into the voice acting business as well. So how was that like for you to get into it? Kind of just like a shoot.
So let's see here. It was good. Thankfully, I was able to jump in with, you know, support from my family, which is, I know, a tough thing for a lot of families that, you know, I'm sure there's a number of parents where it's like, hey, you know, acting's a very unreliable industry. It's very tough, you know, this and that. So I'm sure there's a lot of folks who want to get into voice acting where it's like a little tougher getting that family support, you know. There's a few tips I would probably give. And it's that if you're expecting big things in the first couple years, no, it takes a while. It is a grind and a half. You know, I can guarantee it took more than a year for me to even book my first voiceover gig, you know? So like really, like, do you have to have the patience? Fucking yeah, absolutely. You know, that's for sure just like one of them. The second is, you know, like classes and learning are so important. Like you gotta, you know, be taking classes. And I don't even just mean a voiceover class, like take it just an acting class, you know. At the end of the day, it's all acting. Taking an acting class where you're doing scene work. Not yet, like not even an on-camera class, just like a scene work class. Work on plays. A lot of the plays are written by the best writers of all time, and that's the stuff where you really like get the skills, you know. And workshops are important. Workshops are very important, and I think for a number of reasons, it's kind of good to get in, you know, a little FaceTime with some casting directors, but it's also good to make friends, you know, and it's important hearing your peers act too, because then like if you're in your own little bubble, you could be like, oh, this is the shit and this is the blah blah blah, but then you hear your peers and your friends, and you're like, holy cow, that was incredible. Fuck, I gotta work on it, you know? So hearing what other people, especially people who are auditioning for the same roles as you, very important. You know, it's good to keep a check on that. Be like, got it. Here's what I can work on. Here's what they're doing good. And just learning from a little bit of everybody. So that's important. And then in regards to my last little thing, I'd say in regards to like the actual audition and when you're in the room, it's not like you're in front of people, you're recording it by yourself, but when you're auditioning, I'd say an important thing is two things. Look where you're gonna step before you go there, so like don't just sprint all the way through. I think for me it's important, for the kind of personality that I am like, okay, I really need to look at all these beats I want to take, like, got it, I'm gonna look at it all through. I'm going to step here, rather than just like, all right, we're recording it. Didn't like that. Recording it again. Recording it. Nope. Didn't like that. Doing it again. No. You got to really plan and make decisions. It's one of them. Second one, don't worry about, you know, I feel like the thing is like, if it sounds good to you, like if it sounds good and it's something you're like, you hear and you're like, I would hear that in a game and enjoy it. If you like it and you're having fun doing it, that's probably going to be your better take. I think. For me, that's always been the case of just like, there's usually a take I like. More times than not, there's a take I like. I'm like, I think that sounds good. And I would hear that in a game and be like, that makes sense and that sounds good. And I like it. It's probably going to be the better take than someone going like, I don't really like it, but I feel like the casting director probably likes it, you know, or I feel like that's what they want. Usually if you're like already in the zone of like, I think that's what they want, but I don't know if I really get it or like it, I'm like, to me, I'm like, I don't know if that's the best headspace to be in, or like that's the train of thought you want when recording an audition. That could just be me though. So those are my little thoughts and tips and thingamabobbers.
I remember Kat Pratano, the voice of Skirk. You know her. She tweeted that she had started in a closet with just a microphone, and I was like, "Oh,
I'm in a closet right now with a microphone."
I was like, "Wait a minute!" And she's been a big inspiration for me, at least, and like wanting to get into voice acting as well. But love her.
Kat's one of the hardest workers out there. Kat is. I could tell you because I text/talk to Kat and Blythe pretty much every day. They're some of the hardest workers out there. I think that they're both killing it, and I can really see them as the next Travis Willingham and Laura Bailey. They are a rock star duo, and I look up to both of them and the work they do, and how much they're working. They're really killing it. And yeah, I don't doubt for a second Kat started in a closet. I'm sure all of us, I know Blythe was recording out of a closet at one point. They got a nice as fuck booth now. I feel like they posted pictures. That thing is like,
they did. I think
crazy.
they did, because I remember I was like, oh my goodness.
They got one of them studio brick nice as fuck booths where you walk in it, you're like, holy shit, this is professional. I'm recording out of a closet right now because, gotta do what you gotta do in a little one bedroomer. But hopefully in the next place, there's space to actually put in a booth. But you really don't need, if you're like starting off, you don't need anything crazy. You could have a simple little, interface, a simple little program. You could record with Audacity, which is free. You could have a little Focusrite, which might cost like $100 to $200. You could have a pretty okay, ideally don't, but you could even record with a snowball mic, right? And as long as like the audio quality isn't like distractingly pretty much if the audio quality is so bad that you're like, oh, I can't quite get the full scope of the performance because the audio quality is like fucky and it's like peaking a ton and it sounds weird and cracky, then like that's going to get in your way. But, if it's not that, then that's all that matters. There could be cars in your background and sirens going off. As long as they can hear your performance and not be like totally distracted from it, you're good. And then, get a little foam. It's not too expensive. It's like a little foam helps.
Yeah, Amazon.
Oh yeah.
And then I know that I think you started after Mydei got run. So are you planning on E6ing him?
Well, I'd like to if they reran Mydei. I'd like to. I think it's been 9 months now, someone said. I think it's been closer, maybe 8 or 7. I don't know, but it's been a little while. But I have faith. I have faith Mydei will run, and will I E6 them? I will do my everything. I can tell you this, I haven't been spending my golden tickets, because if I have been, my chat would actually burn my house to the ground. So I've been saving, and I would like to. I would like Mydei to be my carry. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty sick. And then if I upgrade my Mydei, I'll have both Mydei and Finan leveled all the way up, as opposed to Josh, who has Finan all leveled up, but Mydei's just a little level 20 in their pocket.
How dare they?
I know. Isn't that fucked up?
It is.
I love saying to Josh, and it gets them every time. I love saying to Josh, I'm like, oh, wow, so you didn't level up my character, but I leveled up your character. I guess I'm just like the better friend or something. And then Josh is like, oh, are we going there? Are we really? Are we going to say that?
It's funny you say that, because I have a friend that's exactly like that. She has Mydei on her account unleveled until I went on there and leveled him up. And she's like, well, it's Gabby. She could do it. It's fine. I have the character she loves the most completely leveled. Max traces everything. Um, and someone who does has an E6 Mighty myself, it is very worth. Trust me.
Okay. Okay. I trust you. I trust you. I don't even know what the E abilities are, but I'm sure it goes good. I feel like Mighty, I have a few people that I feel like Mighty would still be good in a team with. Like I have Locha, and I feel like honestly Bronya on Mighty's team too, because then like Mighty does their auto stuff, then Bronya, makes them go again and they do their auto stuff again. I feel like it's just like a lot of damage, and then with Locha pass, or like when Locha activates their thing, then they're healing off of each of those hits. I don't know who I'd have as the fourth character, but I feel like probably a debuffer. But like I feel like just the three of them, Bronya, Locha, and Mighty is like, God, I feel like that's a good combo already. Oh, Sunday, I'll have Sunday on the team.
Yeah, so Sunday's like the best, in my opinion, not biased or anything.
Not biased, yeah. I finally get the Sunday is Pookie thing, or Sunday is male wife thing. At the time I was doing Penacony, I was like, fuck this guy. And then Sunday's like on the train now is like, Sunday's like, hey, maybe I was a little bit of an asshole. And you're like,
forgive me for my weird crimes.
Come on board, you're fine.
He's just a little guy.
He's a little guy.
What has been your favorite part of the story from like 1.0 to where you're at in 3.0 now?
My favorite part of the story. Okay, from what I've gone to now. All right. Let me think. I really liked. Honestly, it was in a moment I kind of just experienced. I really liked Sunday going in disguise and talking to Robin, and them both knowing. Well, Robin knows who they're talking to. I think Sunday thinks Robin doesn't know that they're Sunday, but Robin knows because Sunday's too scared to, show up as them or like trying to be considerate. And like that little moment shared between the two of them, I just thought was really beautiful. It was really sweet. Honestly, that had me more emotional than the whole like Aventurine death / not really dying moment. I mean, honestly, during that moment, sorry, Camden. Like all my chat was like crying, like, "Oh, I'm so sad. It's heartbreaking." And I'm like, he's fine. I was like, nah. I'll see Aventurine again. I'm like, he's not really dead. We're in a dream. He's fine. I'll see him again. It's whatever.
Yeah, I definitely think Camden did a really good job with Aventurine as well.
Oh, he did stunning. And that's not to say I don't think they did a stunning job. Camden did a top tier job. I just knew, I was like, I don't think they're really dead.
He's fine.
So I just like wasn't really all that sad.
Mm-hmm.
They did have a sad backstory. I did have a sad backstory. I'm like, damn dog, that's rough.
I thought video game, everyone has a tragic backstory, if we're being for real.
It's true. So true. Oh, another cool moment. I really liked the Black Swan Acheron trailer. That was gnarly. Really dope.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I love Black Swan myself. Huge fan of her. I think she's mother, quite literally. But she's a cool character. Yeah. That's Diva. I don't know. She's great. What is your favorite Mighty voice line that you've recorded? Either like combat, story, you take your pick.
There's a couple I like. So there's a few that I wrote probably the most over signing stuff, and I liked all these lines. A quick little easy one. This one I would just kind of get out of the way, like submit or die. Like that's like if they don't want to take up all that much space, that's just like a fun Mighty quote that I can just kind of keep, like, it's not too big, not taking up too much of the art piece. I really like I allow you to accept your punishment. That's a fun one. I really like the one between him and Finan. Become the dawn deliverer. That's a good moment. But my favorite of the bunch is a voice line that you can hear like when you're listening to all the voice lines in the character menu. And it's Mydei talking about his favorite drink. And how when he drinks it, it's the pride of the... Hold on. What was I don't even remember the exact voice line. But it's like, when I drink this, like I'm like, it's, you know, I drink the pride, the this and the this of the Kremnoan people. It's like big and dramatic. I'm not just drinking this drink. This is important to us. And then he ends it all with, and if you add a little cheese, it makes it more nutritious. It's like, okay, dude.
His little
like,
pink drink. Leave him alone. She's just a girl.
And then after recording that line, Phil, the director, chopped it off, and then I'd record something super serious. Like, I think I quite literally, it was like, I did the line where it's like, Mother, I'm home. And then Phil's like, let's play it back. And then I'll hear the playback like, Mother, I'm home. And if you add a little cheese, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You add a little cheese. Like, it makes it more nutritious. I just like that line. It's so silly. Such a silly one.
Was it, I know when they did the promotional content, you guys had already like recorded everything. Was it like seeing Mydei with his old animation, then they did all the promotional things? Was that really cool to you?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like, listen, when the trailer came out, when Mydei's banner trailer, I don't know the exact title of it, came out, when they were doing their trial, and they're in, like, hell, and they're beating up all these people, they get shot with an arrow, and they say, from now on, I'll be Strife, that whole thing, they ripped somebody's head off, and they grew wings. It was, so that whole thing, recording it felt gnarly. Being able to watch it, I, like, was just leaving, like, work, and then, like, I was in line for In-N-Out at, like, 1 a.m. And, sorry, probably would have been closer to 12:30. I think they closed at 1 a.m. But I was in line, and I saw that the trailer came out, and I was watching it, and as I was watching it, I couldn't keep the smile off my face of just, like, more so, I'm like, this is so fucking cool, and I'm that guy. What? So, like, I was smiling and kind of cackling as I was watching. I was like, so then I think I did a Twitter post retweeting the trailer, and I think I just said in the Twitter post in, like, all caps, like, what? Which was more or less my genuine reaction. I'm like, oh, that's so fucking cool.
Very much Doom vibes is what I liked from it. I don't know if you played Doom. I was like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love Doom. Good Doom vibes. Good metal music. You know, metal vibes. And I love some metal music. So that was a treat.
Yeah. I know that. What is your favorite character outside of like Amphorius, or if you have one within Amphorius?
Outside of Amphorius, my favorite. I think Alejandro does a pretty good job as the general. That character's pretty cool. I like that character a lot. And outside of Amphorius, Sparkle's really interesting. I really like Sparkle.
Oh, I love Sparkle. She's so funny.
Oh, yeah. And Eric Braw's a good time. I love a little Gallagher.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one. So I think those would be some of my faves.
There's a voice line within, I think it's Bailu's story quests with Genuine. You gotta listen to it. I'll let you put that on the table for you.
I'll take a peek. I'll take a Bailu's. Okay. There's a line there. I get you. I'll listen to it. There's already been some fun lines. Fuck. I made a little TikTok about it, but they said something, and I just remember I think in the moment responding, I was like, okay, like if you want, you know, like, dude, whatever you want, really.
Genuine's a great character. He was my first character I ever pulled, so Big fan.
Woo! Hell yeah.
And then asked that question already. If Mighty were to get the chance to join the Astral Express and meet the other planets where the Express has been before, who would you want Mighty to meet first?
I think Mighty meeting Sampo would be pretty funny.
Sampo would rage bait him. Oh my god.
And Mighty's like, I don't want to be here. Sampo, you gotta talk to me. I don't want to do this. There's a throne I gotta get back to.
My people need me. I gotta go.
I think that'd be I feel like that'd be a funny interaction.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. Who's your biggest inspiration within the voice acting field?
I think there's a few inspirations, for sure. For different reasons. I gotta say, my gal Aria Saltini is one. She's really inspiring to me because, she's such a hard worker. It's like, from like ass crack of dawn, like waking up at 5 a.m. for work, and then like, coming back, recording, and like, and still having the time for me and for friends. And like, I think she's just such a trooper, and she works so hard. And I feel like I'm like, I need to work that hard too. It's like definitely pushes me to kind of like stay on the grind. And I think she inspires me a lot. And I love her dearly. And Blythe inspires me a lot too. Because in Blythe, I find a sort of, it's like, I don't even want to call it's like not a rivalry. It's just like Blythe is stupid good at voice acting. And he and I go for the same roles a lot of the time. And he's kind of just like that sort of like friendly rival of just like, I need to do my absolute best to, stand alongside you. You know what I mean? In a sort of way, you know what I've said this about the two of us before. Blythe is like the Goku to my Vegeta, right? And I hate it. I hate it. I love it. I hate it. Where it's like, and I don't even just mean for voice acting. I mean for fucking games too. I really mean it for games. Where it's like, it'll be something and I'm like, I've worked so hard. It's taken so much time to get to this point, right? And then like it'll be a game and Blythe's like, I haven't played this in 10 years, or I've never played this before. And instantly they're like a fucking expert. I'm like, God, I hate you. Like I'm like, I'm struggling through this. And Blythe just walks in with a smile like, I'll give this a shot. And then they do incredible. And I'm like, So in many ways, I find a rival in Blythe, and that pushes me, and he inspires me because they're top tier. So the both of them, and my brother Talon's also been inspiring in a number of ways. I mean, there's been things that certain things where it's like, I'm the youngest of my family, so I was stubborn and this or that way, as we are. And usually what will end up happening, not for everything, oh God, not for everything, but like in certain ways, Talon will suggest something to me when I was younger, and I'd be like, I'm not doing it. And then I end up like doing it, where it's like, hey, Gabe, turns out if you make a spreadsheet to calculate, this and that, whether it's your macros and micros with working out, or it's like your jobs and this and that, it's really helpful. I'm like, shmeh. And now I have like a billion spreadsheets. Like
adult shit.
So like, and what I really do appreciate, he's inspiring me because like, there's a lot of hard work on their end, and they like, I'm very grateful that when I have a win, it feels just as much, if not more so, for Talon. So I appreciate that, So there's a few folks. There's a few folks where it's like, there's a few folks for sure that are nice and inspiring, and I appreciate.
Yeah. And then one of my staff is wondering, are you going to TwitchCon this year?
I don't think so. When is that?
I don't even know. I saw advertise it. Let's look it up. I don't even know.
My pal asked me that too.
Oh, October 17th to the 19th. It's in San Diego.
October 17th and 19th?
Mm-hmm.
In San Diego? Oh, probably definitely not. It's a busy month. It is a busy month. But maybe next year. Next year that'd be a good time. I have really enjoyed doing streaming stuff. So yeah, that would be fun at some point. Unfortunately, this year there's just no shot.
Yeah, understandable. Probably very busy. Is there any like warm ups you do to get into character, or is it just kind of off the rip?
There's some things I do. There's a couple things I do where it's like, one, sometimes to get into placement because I have naturally a more higher register. Mydei has a deeper register. So then I kind of like take a deep breath and really just kind of connect with my chest resonance and where that chest space is where Mydei talks. And it's like, okay, and it's right there. Understood. You know, so like I kind of like first like just take a minute to find it. And sometimes, again, a vibe, like, I feel like a lot of actors do this. They'll have a line they say, and that kind of sets the tone and sets the vibe. So for me, one that I say a lot is, carelessness will be your downfall, deliver. And I'm like, okay, kind of in the headspace again, you know? So couple warm-ups.
Fair enough. If you could give something to Mydei, what would it be?
Bro needs a hug.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And then one other question. How does it feel voicing such a loving and popular character? That he's very popular within the community.
Oh, gosh. It is honestly one of the greatest, like, honors and privileges I could ever have. Like, every day I'm just so insanely grateful. Like, it's less than a year ago, I was just kind of doing my thing and like, things where the ball was like, just like kind of kept moving along. I was doing stuff, right? But like now looking back a year later, just seeing the just thousands of just like love and support from people, it's just like, I could never have imagined it. I'm so blessed and fortunate to like have such supportive and like welcoming people, like, and be a part of this community, and I'm really just grateful every day because it's a privilege and an honor for me to be able to spend time chatting about this kind of stuff and to play games and hang out and vibe with people, and then whenever I hear what the character has done for people and how it might have changed their lives, that's also just like it's really like the most I feel like any performer could ask for, where it's like if I'm having positive like any positive effect on anybody's lives, that's just like that's a dream in itself. And I think I'm just as a whole really grateful and fortunate for the experience.
We'll do a couple more and then I'll let you go. I'm sure you have birthday plans.
Okay.
Going off of
yes,
that.
we're gonna be painting pottery and things in a second.
Oh my God, that sounds like so much fun. There was one, like what you're just saying is like creating a positive impact on people's lives. We did get a question in, or like someone saying is like, they have been deaf since birth and they wear hearing aids, and that, it's still like amazing to be able to hear you through Mydei and like all this other things. And like, just like lending your voice to create such a character, like, is that means something to you, obviously.
I'm so sorry. Wait, start from the top of that. What?
So there was, it wasn't like a question, it was more so like a statement, I think. But there was someone who put in a thing is that they have been deaf since birth and they use hearing aids, and like being able to hear you through Mydei and like hear Mydei is like means a lot to them. And it's like, are you like happy with that? And like, is that like something
oh
you're
my
proud
gosh.
of?
I mean, yeah, no, I mean, I'm insanely grateful. That's crazy, you know. I can't imagine, you know, living like that, and having that, you know, that struggle. But I mean, with a life like that, and if they enjoy what I've been able to provide, like, yeah, I am insanely just like honored and grateful that, you know, I was able to have any positive effect, you know. And it truly, yeah, it absolutely warms my heart hearing that.
We have a lot of people from like different countries. There was a couple of them Brazil, or people are just like, like such a wide community that you've created an impact on. Um,
It's crazy to me every day where I'm like, I'll have folks watching my stream from Brazil, folks from Germany, and I'm like, what? I'm like, that's
mhm,
insane.
yeah. What was it like recording the death scene?
The nap scene.
Yeah. He's tucked in.
Um, uh, it wasn't too bad. I mean, the truthful answer is like, I don't think I had too much of an emotional connection, like, you know, like reaction from that scene. Cause there's the part of my brain that goes, I mean, up to what point can I spoil to?
I think we're at. Well, I don't want to say anything. He wasn't really in the most recent quest, though. I'll say that much.
Got it.
I feel like I might be a little bit wrong, but
you know, here's what I'll say is that like from everything I know, which will because I don't want to accidentally spoil something, so I'm just keeping my mouth shut. I wasn't like, I guess I just like wasn't I was not all that destroyed, and I'm like, I think it was also too, I knew that was going to happen, where I'm like, if I'm gonna say my weakness, there's lines where I'm like, my weakness is my 10th thoracic vertebra, where I'm like, well, I'm gonna get stabbed in my 10th thoracic vertebra.
yeah.
It's gonna happen. Like,
Kind of like a little bit of like, are you sure I'm supposed to be saying this?
Like, I think it'd be more shocking if I just never got stabbed there. It's like, wow, they really just never got. Whoa, crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think the one thing too is that like you probably didn't really see it, so you're not like emotionally connected, but as you would as you go on the story wise.
For sure. I there's probably just, also the experiential thing of just like I haven't gone to that point in the story, right, where it's like I don't have that kind of emotional connection to it. It is a weird thing seeing me in the story now and just like I'm like, oh, Gabe jump scare, holy shit. But it's a fun experience.
And then I don't think you met her. Did you meet Fei Xiao in story yet, or did you skip over that? Because you said you haven't met Moza either. She's the fox general with white hair and ponytail. I think you might have missed that.
Spell that for me.
FEI.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, XAIO. My bad, I had a brain fart there. I was like, I don't think you've met her. If you skipped over the thing with Moze, then you definitely didn't meet her.
I for sure did not meet her.
Yes, yeah, there was a question. It was like, who would run an arm wrestle, her or Mydei? My bet's on her. Sorry.
Hey, she looks pretty tough. Is she the one that has that like light cone of them doing like some kickboxing fighting kind of dealio?
Yes.
They would. Fei Xiao would win. They would win. They're tough. They look tough.
Mm-hmm. And
no
then
question.
I guess let me see. I'll just end with this one here. Does it ever strain your voice when you do Mydei's lines?
Not doing the ordinary stuff. When I'm doing some of the more vocally exerting stuff, sometimes it can just get a little raspy. You know what I mean? You're ideally, when doing any voice acting stuff, right? It's like you're not supposed to use really like that throat space. And when I'm doing Mydei's voice, I stay in the chest resonance. But I think sometimes when I do like the really battle heavy stuff, like like it can start to reach into the throat space a bit. And when it's like a little bit like that, not a big deal. You know what I mean? But like if you do it all the time, it's like really not good. But in little itty bits in moderation, it's not the worst thing on the planet. So I think it does. So only for like some of the more like really raspy and battly kind of stuff, so it gets a little raspy.
All right. Well, I think we can call it here. Thank you again so
Hell
much
yeah.
for coming.
Absolutely, and thank you for having me. This has been an absolute pleasure. I've loved chatting. It's been a good time.
Thank you, and happy birthday again. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day. And that's the story. There we go.
Bye.
All right. Have a good one later. Bye.